Well, what an amazingly heartening experience to find in the midst of this celebrity status place, Chipping Norton, which is often in the media held out to be just a Jeremy Clarkson kingdom, to find all these people who are actually interested in health and well-being. Who would have thought it? It's if if it can happen here, it can happen anywhere.
To actually think of myself as a whole, all health parts of me, yeah. So body, mind, and spirit, if we want to include it, yes. I think it's been a really good thing to organise, because it's bringing together so many different disciplines. And it's easy just to pick on one thing, when I think the need is to look at a whole range of complementary ways of helping us live less stressful lives, basically. I have a particular interest in mental health, so I think all these things contribute to better overall mental health, and of course physical health is a part of that as well. It's so linked together.
It's a good question. I think the topic that's interested me most, Nikki, is the topic on nutrition, because I've always been a little bit hopeless at what's good and what's bad for me, and all that talk about insulin rising with lots of sugar. I'm a classic case of needing a lot of improvement in that area, and I've learnt a lot, and it's going to drive me forward. I think we should be educating ourselves much more and helping others educate themselves who aren't, say, as privileged as us to be even here today and be able to hear this kind of stuff. I think there are a lot of people out there in the country who just have no idea, and it needs to be built into the education system, and we really need to understand our bodies better. Well, I will definitely try to cut more sugar out of my diet, and I'm never going to cut it all out, but I'm going to cut most of it out, and also to educate somebody else in this process, because I think I have lots of friends who could do with some help here. That's what I'm going to do.
So today I think the biggest interest for me is the NHS GP. So Claire gave a great talk on the responsibility of GPs and the NHS in our health. And actually what I found really interesting was the point that it's not their responsibility to be in charge of our health, that we have a responsibility, and we need to do more about our own well-being, to take pressure off the NHS and also to make our lives better. So moving forward from today, the main change that I'm going to make, apart from eating less cheese, because I think that's an excessive thing in my life at the moment, is learn more about my own body and what I'm actually putting in, because it's all very well to try and change certain things, but if I don't actually fully know what I'm doing in the first place, then I can't really start.
Thank you very much. I'm from the area actually, so I heard about the festival because my friend Louise was speaking, and so I just wanted to come along and support her and just understand a little bit more about what this is all about really. And actually what's been amazing today is just the variety of speakers, and everything that they're speaking about has been quite diverse. I've been on my own cancer journey, so understanding that actually everything that's been spoken about, from the ME all the way through to even cancer, there's so many synergies that I think more people could really do with understanding so much more about. I think there's a real need out there for people to understand how they can help themselves, because when you lose control of that part of your journey, when you're having to face something like cancer, this has been amazing, so inspirational in terms of what you can do to maintain some of that control. So moving forward from today, I think the biggest thing for me is about that 1% change. So what are the small things that you can do on a consistent basis to really create the lifestyle that you want and to have the control that you want, for optimum good health, and to share the word.
For me, what appealed about ChippyWellFest was actually the breadth of health and wellness topics available. I do believe that it's not just about nutrition. There's there's spiritual well-being, there's exercise, and what I found really appealing today was it's been so challenging in so many different ways. But I came here on the pretense of learning more about nutrition, which is a kind of current interest at the moment.
Thank you.
I booked my ticket for ChippyWellFest because of natural interest and in curiosity, and to support a friend. And since then, I've been diagnosed with a chronic autoimmune disease in the last 2 weeks. So today has been really inspiring for me on my new journey of something that I'm just coming to terms with, and hearing a lot today about how to manage your health yourself and take that into your own control. I've found really empowering and given me a lot of hope, and definitely lots of thinking for me to go away and do. I think what really resonates with me is 100 lots of 1% differences rather than 100% difference. There is no silver bullet for health, and the breadth of topics today have given me lots of ideas for those 1% I can go after in lots of many ways, from sleep, nutrition. I've worked in the food industry for nearly 20 years, and I love my sweet stuff, and I finally found the confidence to want to give up sugar. And for someone who's worked in the chocolate industry and dessert industry, I finally believe that actually I can do it if I really want to, or at least reduce that, and that's a really big thing for me. So it's going to be some major changes coming. I've already told my husband by text, by the way, there's some big changes coming. So yeah, looking forward to the difference that the inspiration has made.
Which topic so far has interested me? Probably Nick's delivery mainly on nutrition, or what the balance in his life of what he was absorbing or not. That's interested me because I don't really think about that on a day-to-day basis, and I will from here on in. The biggest challenge to our well-being today in the world is probably, in fact definitely, not having moments without interruption. So in other words, news, radio, everyone goes on about iPads and phones and everything, but it's just everything, it's just the noise, and that includes communication from other people. So silences, breaks, and if you want to put it to another way, transcendence is the way forward, and stopping that is all these other things. It's just background noise that makes us feel comfortable, but actually it's not helping our head at all.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
I think the topic that interests me most is probably all the different advice about nutrition, and really practical advice about what is reasonable to do without changing everything. Particularly, I already knew it, but the sugar issue, give up the sugar, and all the advice we've been given on healthy gut. I think what we've learned today from all the different speakers is to take more care of your health. It's a really holistic approach. It's about all the different aspects, so nutrition and mindfulness and exercise. And if you start to tick all those boxes, you can't be doing the wrong thing. I love all the advice about having a sense of humour, enjoying life, taking moments to enjoy it. And I think that's something we always forget. We're so focused on little things, even if it's just about eating well and taking exercise, instead of just stopping and enjoying the good things about it. So it's been good. It's been a good day.
I just think we all need to be aware of our own responsibility to look after our health. We all know that we should be eating 5 portions of fruit and veg a day at least, and standing up as much as we can and being as mobile as we can. And they're fairly easy lifestyle changes, so I think it's just we need to be aware that it's up to us as individuals to implement these changes, these fairly simple lifestyle changes, to hopefully improve our life and our mental well-being. I wanted to come today to support Nick and his family, and also to help motivate myself, find out simple life changes that I could make which will hopefully have a positive impact on my life and my mental well-being.